Hey guys, it's Sinem and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. So today I'm going to be doing a full face of Huda Beauty. I know. So I've done full faces of other brands on my channel here before, but today it's going to be a high-end one. It's going to be Huda Beauty. We have everything from, you know, face products like cream bronzer, bronzer, concealer, 2 different types of foundations, primer, eyebrow, everything. So if you guys want to see a full face of Huda Beauty, my thoughts, and you know, everything about her brand, then please keep on watching. Firstly, how cute are these nails? It's from Shein. They are press-ons. I know they look obviously fake, but I mean, honestly, like, these are the cutest nails. So I'm first gonna go in with primer. Let's start off with primer. And the primer I'm gonna be using today from Huda Beauty is the water jelly primer. Everything that I'm using today will be on the side, so you guys can read a little bit more about it, so you can see it more in depth as well, like what it does and all that good stuff. But this is basically a hydrating, moisturizing primer, jelly primer. I've spoken about this before on my channel, and I will say, like, it's a really nice lightweight primer, but it honestly doesn't do much apart from just feel moisturizing. Does that make sense? Like, it's not gonna make your foundation last long. It adds moisture into the skin, but then again, you could always just use like your normal moisturizer. I wouldn't say that this is a primer you actually have to go out and buy straight away. There are so many more affordable primers out there that pretty much do the same thing. Don't get me wrong, it feels super lightweight and nourishing on the skin, but I just feel like it's not something you have to rush out and go and get. Does that make sense? But that being said, it does leave you with a beautiful, just dewy finish as well. Moving on into foundation, I actually have 2 right here. One is a like full-on foundation and one is more of like a tint. So we'll be going into the new-ish, kind of new, came out in the summer, I believe, the GloWish Multidew Skin Tint from Huda Beauty. I did review this separately on my channel. And this is basically a skin tint, a super luminous, dewy skin tint. And this is in the shade Fair. Spoiler alert, I absolutely love this foundation skin tint. This is one of the most beautiful skin tints that I've tried because it is so just blurring and perfecting on the skin. Like, it truly just makes the skin look like skin, and healthy and dewy. I will say it's very luminous. You guys are about to see now. Very, very luminous. So if you are afraid of all that like pearliness, then you might not like this because it is almost like a little bit of a metallic finish. But it is so, so, so hydrating on the skin, and it just naturally evens out the skin. Look at that. Like, I barely did anything. It looks like skin. It looks so natural, so luminous. And it just instantly covers a little bit of that redness, but still makes your skin look like skin. Like, it doesn't completely cover everything. So this is great for every day, for summer, on holiday. I mean, look at my skin. Just, I barely did anything and it looks super smooth, super, super, super radiant and just glowy, and doesn't look heavy, doesn't feel heavy. Packed full of moisture as well. It's just blending really nicely into the skin. This is so beautiful on the skin. So that is pretty much the skin tint, and it covered well. It covered a lot. But what I am going to do is going with more coverage. This is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Stick Foundation. So this one's going to be your more buildable medium to full coverage foundation. Super, super creamy. It almost beats my Hourglass Vanish Seamless Stick Foundation. So you guys can see, you barely need much with this product as well. And this is in the shade Vanilla. I mean, it's super full coverage. Like, it is buildable, but it's definitely more full coverage than obviously the skin tint. So you can see right here, this one also gives more of a natural satin finish. It's not going to give you that dewy finish. It's going to be more of a, you know, natural satin matte. Of course, I am putting it over the skin tint, and that skin tint does have a little bit of dew, but you guys get the idea. So just wanted to throw this one in there as well. This is a full face of Huda Beauty, so why not use as many Huda Beauty products as possible. So you can see right here on the forehead, a lot more full coverage. And also these two mixed. This is by accident, but it might be like my new favorite. base combo. Look at that. Like full coverage with a little bit of that dewiness peeking through. So next we're going to go into the Huda Beauty concealer. This is the Overachiever concealer, and this one is in the shade Meringue, which is supposed to be like a full coverage concealer, crease proof, you know, sweat resistant, all of that good stuff. It does come with this really nice cooling applicator. Just be careful with how much you put underneath your eyes. This is really nice for those of you who have maybe more puffy under eyes. This does depuff because of the cooling effect. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of this, and then if I need more, I'll put more. Super creamy, like full coverage concealer that just blends really nicely into the skin and doesn't crease. I will say it does dry down to a matte finish, which is not my favorite with concealers. I don't like concealers that dry down to a matte. But this one is a nice matte, a comfortable matte. Might put a little bit more, but this is really nice, really full coverage, great for spot concealing, great for under eyes. If you have very dark under eyes, this is a great one. So I am going to be building this up, and I like that this concealer is buildable as well if you start off with a little amount. So let me know down below as well, do you guys have any favorites from Huda Beauty? Have you tried anything from her before, her brand? Before I set my under eyes, I'm going to be going into another cream product. This is the Huda Beauty Tantour contour and bronzing cream product. This is in Fair, and it's basically a cream bronzer. This is a very warm bronzer, and it is very pigmented, so just go in with a light amount. I believe this is, what is it, Fair? Yeah, this is the lightest shade. But I will say, I'm just taking a little bit off, it is probably one of the creamiest cream bronzers that I have tried. This is a really nice fair bronzer shade. As you guys can see, it just melted into the skin. I am quite fair in my opinion, and this just doesn't look too orangey. It is a little bit too warm. I wish it was a little more on the cooler side, but it's not that bad compared to other cream bronzers and bronzers that I've tried from other brands. So this is a really nice cream bronzer that just melts into the skin. Look at that. And I have dry skin as well, and this is not clinging to any dry patches, dry areas. It's just melting in beautifully. Like my skin right now is looking so good. So yeah, this you can just build and build and build if you wanted to, and I feel like it's never going to look too heavy. So that is it right there, the Tantour cream bronzer. Now I'm going to set my under eyes with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder and Baking Powder. This is in the shade Pound Cake, which is a beautiful like pale yellow neutral kind of color, which I absolutely love. Also love the packaging as well, because it does have this to protect it. And yeah, like I said, this is a beautiful just pale yellow neutral powder. A lot of powders tend to be very translucent. There is a translucent one, there's a pink one, there's so many other colors in this, but I really struggle to find like a pale yellow neutral powder, and this is one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. I don't use this often, so I really can't remember if I liked it or not. I remember now. The scent is way too strong. It is very perfumey. Like, too much perfume. It's too much. It's too much perfume. I feel like it's going to look beautiful on the skin, but I just can't with the scent. Yeah, this powder is definitely flawless. Mattified to that area. You guys can see the difference with the powder without. It just looks super smooth underneath the eyes, but I can't with the scent. It's too perfumey. And I will say as well, I feel like the powder is oxidizing just slightly. Might not pick up on camera, but I can see it's oxidized just the tiniest amount. So you can bake with this powder, is what she says, or you can just use it to set. I usually don't bake, so I'm just using this to set. And I will say my under eyes look super smooth. Super, super smooth. What do we think? Definitely gives that smooth filtered effect. And I'm going in with her latest, newest product, and this is the GloWish Luminous Pressed Powder. I did an entire video on this powder if you guys want to know about it more in depth. And this one is in the shade Fair. This is basically a luminous powder. Now, Again, spoiler alert, but this powder is really nice on top of foundation, but she did advertise it as a powder foundation. She advertised this everywhere as a powder that you can just use on its own. And in the video, I did test it on top of foundation. I also tested it by itself, and I wouldn't recommend it by itself. It's very, like, again, pearly. It's got these pearls in it because it is a luminous powder, and it just looks really odd on the skin. If you have acne, texture, blemishes, it's all gonna show, and your skin's gonna look like weird and dry. But on top of like a foundation, it just leaves you with the most beautiful, just light, like, glow. Does that make sense? And it just sits better on top of foundation. It also sets my makeup in place, does not budge, gives a little bit of a tint of color as well, a little bit of coverage, because it is like a powder foundation. So I would say it's the best, as you guys can see. Like, adds more coverage, a little bit more color and life back into my skin, and it just kind of perfects everything and binds everything together. I think it's super beautiful on top of a base, but I just wouldn't recommend it on its own. So this for me is a little bit of a miss when it comes to using it by itself, but it's definitely a hit when you use it on top of foundation. But again, check out that video if you want to know a little bit more in depth into the powder. But it is a beautiful, smooth, dewy powder with a little bit of a tint. So I really like how it looks on top. Let's go ahead and do more bronzer. So this is also the GloWish Soft Radiance bronzer. This one is in light. This is the lightest one. And you know, at first I didn't like it. And I'll say it's still a little bit of a miss because of the shade. Because the shade is a little bit too much on the warm side, like orangey side, especially for it to be for fair skin tones. It should be a lot more cooler. But I also like it for how sheer it is. It's not a super crazy pigmented bronzer, and it is a luminous bronzer as well. So again, giving you just the slightest little bit of glow like that and warmth to the skin without it being so sparkly and glittery like a lot of other shimmery bronzers are. This just barely has like shimmer in it and glitter in it. It's more of just like a sheen. Does that make sense? And I think it just looks so radiant and beautiful without it, again, being super like overly metallic. And I'm packing this on really lightly and barely applying too much, because if I go in with a lot more, then it will start to look too orangey. So this is a beautiful formula, very lightweight on the skin, doesn't feel heavy, doesn't look heavy, and it just blends really nicely into the rest of your makeup as well, because the powder is so fine. Like I said, it's lightweight. If you're looking for a really nice bronzer that isn't matte, but then also isn't super shimmery and glittery, definitely check those out, because it's more of like a sheen and then just bronzes up your complexion, which is so beautiful. I don't have a blush, do not come for me, but I do not have a Huda Beauty blush. For brows, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Bomb Brows Microshade Brow Pencil. This one is in Black Brown number 7, and this I really like. First of all, it has the tiniest little brush tip, which is perfect for precision, I can never say that word, and this really just allows you to create whatever brow you want. If you struggle with, you know, getting really in there into the sparse areas and creating just fine little hairs and strokes, this is the one that you need to go for, especially if you have full looking brows like myself, but you just need just a few little areas to touch up with. This is a great one, and I love that it's super sharp and super tiny. So I love this, love the shade as well. She has so many shades, and you barely need to even just touch your brow to fill it in. Look at the difference already. Like, I barely did anything. Comes with the spoolie on the other side. Brush it up, clean it up. Super natural looking. And I really love this brow pencil for the days where I just want it to be super like precise and defined. So I don't need to do too much, but you guys get the idea. Let's move on into eyeshadow. So I don't have an eyeshadow base, but I do have a few palettes. I have the Naughty Nude palette from Huda Beauty, which is honestly the prettiest palette. We have the Desert Dusk, which I really do not like. This was like in my makeup I hate video. I really don't like this palette. The formula is very dry and chalky. This one I highly recommend. I did a whole video on it, and Huda Beauty actually commented on that video. This is the Toffee Brown eyeshadow palette, so I would recommend this if you like these sorts of tones. And then these two, I think she stopped making the neon one, and then we have like the other Electric Obsessions one. So today I'm going to go into the Naughty Nude eyeshadow palette. This one is the one I'm going to be using, and the first shade I'm going to go into is the shade Filthy. This is a beautiful matte baby pink. Next I'm going into Rough, which is a little bit more of like this kind of caramel brown, also a matte. Honestly, I have to say with this palette, the mattes are super silky, creamy, very pigmented. It's definitely different to like Huda Beauty's eyeshadow formulas usually. I feel like with this palette specifically, there's just something different about the formula, which I absolutely love. Let me know if you guys have tried this palette and if you feel the same way as well. Next I'm going into Spicy, which is kind of like a deep matte purple, and I'm just putting this on my outer corner. Super pigmented. It just, honestly, this is what you want in an eyeshadow, really. I will say though, I like the mattes more than the shimmers. Look at that. So pretty, matches with my top. So next we're going to go into another product. I'm going to pause from the eyeshadow palette, and we're going to go into the Huda Beauty matte and metal metallic liquid, no, matte and metallic melted liquid shadows. So this is basically a liquid eyeshadow with a matte side, it dries down, and then a more metallic glitter kind of side. So I'm going to take the liquid side this time. This is in Pink Champagne and Bubble Bath. And I'm taking the Pink Champagne side. Just going to apply this all over my lid. And this is going to act as just a beautiful liquid eyeshadow that's just going to sparkle. So yeah, this is a beautiful rose gold, like straight up rose gold pink liquid metallic eyeshadow. It's definitely more on the like foiled side rather than a glitter. It does have some glitter in there, but it's definitely like very foiled and metallic. So pretty, so stunning. It just really makes a statement. But I am going to set this with eyeshadow on top, and this is Bubble Bath. So it's basically like a just dusty pink that dries down to a matte, and you can blend it out sort of like a base or use by itself. So now I'm going to pack on the shade Shameless. Oh my goodness. So this is a beautiful pink metallic eyeshadow that's just packing on really beautifully. So now I'm taking the shade Naughty, which is a deep chocolate brown, and applying that on the lower lash line. And I'm also taking Juicy, which is a little bit more of like this peachy brown, and also applying that on the lower lash line just to add a little bit of warmth. So for mascara, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty. This is the, I think, the Legit Lashes 2-in-1 mascara. I have the mini size. They do have obviously a full size. And this is in Very Vanta, which is extreme black. It has a curl and length on one side and a volume on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and take the curl and length first, just to lift my lashes up. I will say I did try this out in another video, and I don't like it. I'll just be honest, like I don't like this mascara. I feel like it really did not do anything for my lashes. It did, you know, I kept coating it and coating my lashes, and it just never seemed to like apply the mascara. It never really lifted them. It never really looked defined and full. It just looked very straight and like I barely put anything on. So I'm not sure what the hype is with this mascara, because a lot of people seem to love it as well, but for me, this is probably like the #1 thing that I didn't like. So yeah, I'm just like building and building and building, but it's not really doing much. So I'm gonna be right back and try the volume side. This is the volume side, so let's go ahead and apply this. This is a lot more clumpy. I will say the volume side is a lot better than the curl and length, because it actually does seem to like, you know, put something on your lashes a little more, but it is quite clumpy. And yeah, just not my favorite. Just absolutely not my favorite. I feel like you can find so many better mascaras, so I would skip on this. I'd say this is a total miss. Last but not least is lips. So I have 2 lip products right here. I do actually also have liquid lipsticks from Huda Beauty, but a lot of them are very like bold, like pinky and red, and I just didn't want to go for that today. So I'm going to go ahead with these 2 products. The first one is the Cream Glow lipstick. This is the Power Bullet Cream Glow lipstick, and this is in the shade Empress, which is a beautiful like nude neutral color. Beautiful. I think on a range of skin tones it is such a flattering like brownie neutral nude. And the Cream Glow lipsticks are super moisturizing, and they give you like this glowy sheen, like moisturizing, hydrating finish. Super pigmented, creamy, everything you want in a creamy lipstick. Juicy and like it looks like I have lip gloss on, but I don't. That's why I absolutely love these. My bottom lip looks so juicy right now, so you could leave it like this, but I'm not. I'm gonna go in with a gloss. So this is the Huda Beauty Lip Strobe Gloss. This is a metallic lip gloss. This is in the shade Ritzy, which is a very beautiful like pink rose gold gloss, which of course is just going to tie everything together. These are very high shine and very metallic, so I'll go ahead and show it right there. Super metallic and glossy. So let's go ahead and apply this. Love it. Super glossy, super juicy, super nude, which I absolutely love. It's a little more, it's not as pinky nude, which would have gone with the look, but it's what I have from Huda Beauty. So I hope you guys loved the video, the look. Let me know what you guys think about the products as well. So I'll just do a little close-up for you. Let me know what you guys think. You know, surprisingly, the look is absolutely beautiful. Like, absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite looks that I've done. I think the eyes are super stunning, like rose gold. The lips could have been a bit more pink, but it's what I had. And the base, I would say my favorite out of the video. I've tried these products out before, but like, just to give you guys my final thoughts. The Multidew Skin Tint is something that everyone needs. It's beautiful. Don't worry if you're too oily as well. You can just set your skin with a little bit of powder. It's honestly so beautiful on the skin. Also, the Cream Glow lipstick is beautiful with just that juicy finish. Absolutely love it. The eyeshadow palette as well is definitely a must. Super beautiful colors, great pigmentation. And then also I really liked the cream bronzer as well, the Tantour. Super natural and creamy, just melted into the skin, looks like skin. So yeah, you know, there are products here that I definitely would say you have to go out and get. You know, you could skip on the mascara, you could skip on the eyebrow pencil, the lip metallic gloss, things like that. You guys can make your pick and your decision. But leave me all your thoughts down below. If you want to see more full faces, let me know what brand you want to see next. Don't forget to check out my giveaway as well. I have a giveaway running right now currently. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up, comment down below. And I hope everyone is staying safe. So until next time, I'll speak to you guys all in my next video.